seemed like all the things you guys have talked about in training camp is your values, the things that are important to you, tested right off the bat tonight. What'd you make of just the way you guys continue to respond and try to stay present in this one?
Yeah, we did enough to win. You always like the mess-ups and the scripts and the mistakes always hurt more than a loss, so we have to be humble enough to realize we need to get better, even though we still won. It was ugly tonight, but I'd rather be ugly in a win than a loss for sure, so we'll take it.
Shai, I know it's a weird juxtaposition to have played a game like that, but you had the ring ceremony before. But just curious, you showed as much joy as I think we outwardly see from you during that whole thing. What was that like for you?
Yeah, it was surreal. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it besides that. It was super fun though. Seeing the banner raised was cool too. Knowing that it'll be up there forever, and we were the first group to bring the city a championship was a pretty special feeling.
Do you remember anything that went through your mind as the banner starts to go up?
It felt like it was going up for like 10 minutes. Yeah. But yeah, it was surreal. It was an amazing moment. I'll remember it for the rest of my life.
Can you talk about just the way you guys were able to compartmentalize the emotions of the night, the distractions, to get this win?
Yeah, definitely the night was different, a little out of rhythm for us on a usual game day, but it's not an excuse. It was for the Rockets as well. And yeah, we just found a way to gut out a victory on a night that was a little funky. But I'll do it all over again the same way if we win. So
did any of
we'll
the?
take it.
Oh, sorry.
No, you good.
Did any of the coverages they threw at you feel any different or anything?
Nah, they were just very aggressive, putting two on the ball. Usually, like, to start the game, you can either be stubborn or get off it. I think I did a pretty good job of getting off it. Guys got open looks. Now, clearly, we didn't make a lot of shots tonight, but that's an investment I'm willing to make every night for my teammates. And as the game went on, like, naturally, the coverages got looser, and I was able to spring downhill and get to my spots a little bit. But yeah, it's a game of basketball, game of chess. We did enough to get a W.
You guys face distractions, adversity, and this one still managed to come out on top. Just what does a win like this reaffirm to you in terms of the guys that you have on this team and the type of group you have?
Yeah, we need to get better. That was probably the biggest thing tonight. Like, I need to be better. The group needs to be better. If we want to do what we just did again, we're going to have to be a better team in a few months. But I have full belief and confidence in this team that we will be. We'll use tonight as a learning experience, how we always have.
Yeah, Shai, can you take us back to the last possession of the second overtime when you're looking for a place to go and eventually got the foul on Durant?
It was literally exactly what you just said. I was just looking for space to get off a comfortable shot that I'm comfortable shooting. I turned and was about to shoot it, but I think he thought I was going to shoot it as well, and he left his feet, and I saw an opportunity to take advantage of it, and worked in our favor.
In those moments, end of the game, someone like Durant on you, does it go through your mind exactly who that is and sort of the magnitude of a moment like that?
Not at all. Just trying to get to a shot I'm comfortable shooting in those moments. I'm so, like, my brain is so in the moment that, like, all those things I don't even realize. But yeah, just the personnel, really good defender. Try to use something, try to be sharp, try to get to something that I've done before and be confident, shoot it, let it go.
And, you were involved in the same moment at the end of the first overtime. What was your perspective on him apparently trying to call timeout, and just what did you think of that moment?
Yeah, Kevin definitely called timeout about 3 times, verbally and physically with his hands. I think the refs just missed it. But that's life. You make mistakes in life and you move on. Yeah, nothing too crazy. I turned the ball over a bunch tonight. Next possession, so same mentality for them. I don't think it's They didn't do it on purpose or anything. It's just it's life, you know. You miss things, you make mistakes, and you move on.
Shai, I know as a team, you said you guys will obviously look at this game and get better. It's just literally the first game, but it opened up with a tough and one from Chet and went into double overtime. Does a game like tonight kind of set the tone for this team's goal this season?
Yeah, definitely a lot of lessons we can learn from tonight, but Chet definitely set the tone in a great way tonight for sure. He was ready to go from the jump. Carried us scoring-wise through that first half. But yeah, he looks a whole lot better, has his legs underneath him, and I'm excited for his growth this year.
What do you think of the ring and the design of the ring?
Yeah, it's beautiful, very shiny. I like everything about it. No complaints. It's beautiful.
Anybody else? Yeah, I got one.
We go 2 more. 1, 2.
You got the starting 5, Doc. You got the shoe releases. You got banner night. There's a lot of distractions. What goes into like being able to refocus and playing in a double overtime game that really felt like a playoff game?
Just realization that like none of those things happen if I don't put the ball in a basket. If I'm not a good basketball player, I don't have a signature shoe. I'm not in a documentary. I don't make all this money. Like none of it happens if I'm not who I am on that basketball floor and for this team. So keeping that at the front of my mind, and my main goal is to take care of that, and everything else will fall into place.
AJ is a guy who's come into the league pretty polished. Where have you seen him improve the most over the course of his career?
Yeah, he honestly just like gets it done. Knows how to play. Is very aggressive. Like doesn't shy away from any moments. But yeah, like when you throw those combination of things together, usually you have a good basketball player. And he'll continue to grow with his skills and stuff like that. But he was great tonight and big for us in the first half, especially.
What's up, everybody?
Chet, this game tested you guys in so many different ways. Right off the bat, what'd you make of just the togetherness of the group and the presence that you all had?
Obviously, it's a unique situation. There's not many games where you do something like that before the game, in the middle of your kind of preparation. But I mean, we all kind of discussed it. Like, you have to be present and enjoy the ceremony, but as soon as that's over, we got to get ready to play a game. It wasn't perfect earlier, it wasn't perfect the whole game, but credit to our team, credit to the guys out there. That's what they do. Just find a way, come away with a win.
Especially in that first half, you seemed to really kind of gash the zone. You found lots of great pockets. What went into your process of creating the looks that you wanted and making yourself a big target there?
Just trying to be aggressive, understand what they're trying to do, understand what we're trying to do, and seek out opportunities within that. I feel like I did a good job of being aggressive for the most part throughout the whole game. Had a little stretch where the shots just weren't going down for me, but I feel like maybe there was a couple outside shots that I could have took that I didn't, but outside of that, I feel like I did a good job being aggressive, when I had an opportunity.
Shai had 24 of his points, I think, in the fourth quarter, and then the overtimes.
Yeah, 5 at halftime.
Yeah. Can you kind of just speak to, from your perspective, what you saw out of him and just his continued ability to rise to those moments?
Yeah. I mean, obviously it was no secret that he had 5 at halftime. I mean, I just said it, but he's somebody that we never even check in on. It's not even like, yo, you okay? Is there something going on? Like, he's good. You know what I'm saying? When he has to look to score and make plays, he's going to do it. I feel like he did a great job early on of trying to trust us and help work us into the game as a collective. And some shots weren't going down for us that normally do go down. And, he did a great job of still doing that down the stretch as well, but also looking for his own. So credit to him tonight. It's when you think you're going to hold him under 30, it's just doesn't happen.
Chet, I got to ask about the ring. How does it feel?
It's pretty heavy, but it's amazing. It's amazing.
So obviously, it's a weird thing to have a game as competitive as that, and then you have that thing before the game where you guys are celebrating last year. But what stands out to you just about those 20 or so minutes on the court with your teammates?
I wouldn't not many things I would trade it for. I'm so happy to see the success and happiness of everybody else out there. I'm happy to share that with them, share that moment with them. That's the rings, the banner, the fact that we won, that's forever. Nobody can take that away. That banner is going to hang for a long time in Oklahoma City, and I'm happy we're able to share that with the city. But we also understand, and our organization as well. They put 0 and 0 inside of our rings, so everybody knows we have to turn the page and continue to try and improve and get better. And last year is last year. We'll have that forever, but it doesn't continue on forever. So we got to turn the page.
What did it mean to lay your hands on the banner before it went up there?
It was pretty sick because, other than the people that move it to the new arena, probably won't be touched by anybody outside of us. So, it's special. It's kind of like getting your hands on the trophy or the rings, just a special piece of history.
Chet, you talked about playing with more physicality throughout your career. Tonight, you look at Houston and the size of the lineup they threw out there. Just will you talk about just what you felt like going up and playing against all those big dudes?
Yeah, I felt good. I felt like I finished through contact a couple times, but I still feel like there's areas where I could be better, especially on the defensive end. There were sometimes I had a chance to kind of assert more physicality, and I didn't get the job done on those plays. So got to watch those back and see what I can do better. But it's going to be ongoing. Learning how to be more physical, continuing to get stronger. I think it's until I'm done playing, that's never going to end.
Chet, I know coming off of a championship run, everyone goes into the offseason with a different focus, but specifically Ajay Mitchell, him being so young. What have you seen from him during the offseason, especially tonight?
He's a killer. He's cold. I did my pre-draft stuff up in Santa Barbara, so I didn't know. I never met him when I was out there, but I knew of him. And I actually, thought he was a really good player back then, and now seeing it up close, he's, a really good player. That's no secret. I'm happy. Obviously, I never want to see anybody out with an injury, but I'm happy that this opportunity is arising for him in this way, because, he's going to make the most of it, and we're going to need him. He's going to make big plays for us. So, I see how hard he works. I see how much he cares, and, I can't wait for it to pay off for him.
You talked earlier about sort of the size of their team. I wanted to ask, because you came into the league playing a lot of solo center minutes. Now it seems like you guys, Houston, a lot of other teams are playing double big lineups. Why do you think that's sort of now viable in a league that's trending towards small ball for a long time?
I feel like it's a opportunity for us to improve, myself as well as the team. Early on, the year I was hurt, we didn't play with any fives for the most part. We played all guards out there, and then when I came back, it was a lot of single big, and then we got really good at that, but we understood that there has to be more to us as a team than just, a fastball. So, this is a different pitch for us, and, I have to continue to improve in order for that look to improve. So, that's kind of the process that's going to be going. With that look, and it's great to have different things that you can throw out there in a game.
You guys have seen a lot of zones here in the last year or so. You worked the middle a lot tonight. I'm sure that was designed to break it down.
Yeah, I think we'll see more and more of it as teams, try to play bigger, throw two bigs out there. We're going to see a lot of zones, so we got to get really good at attacking those looks. There's different ways to do it in transition and the half court, and I feel like, we did a good job tonight at that, but, there's still a lot of room for improvement.
Thank you, Jeff.
Y'all have a great night.
Right. Hey, Hogan. I asked Coach about you earlier, and he was just saying it's no surprise how well you handled the offseason and how you're able to show up tonight. How did you go into the offseason to prepare for this season?
Just trying to focus on what I had to work on, and then obviously take a little break. That was important, but then getting right back to work and
knowing that obviously we won, but now it's a new year, and so for me it was like just put in the work in the off season, getting ready for this year, and that's really about it.
And then on the fan side of basketball, of course, Twitter's going crazy with the opening night of Double OT. Would you say that's a unique way to start off the season?
For sure. It's definitely a unique way to start the season. But I mean, I'm glad we got to win, and we got to keep building as a team and keep getting better. It's only one game. We got 81 more, so we got to keep building.
What are your thoughts on the ceremony before the game and the thoughts on the ring in general?
I mean, it was awesome. Obviously, it doesn't happen to everybody, so I think it was a great moment for us as a team, and then we definitely had to enjoy that, and it was a great moment, I think, for us, but also for our fans, being able to experience that. So it was a really cool moment.
What do you think of the ring?
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I'm excited we got it, and it looks really nice. So I'm hyped about it.
AJ, coming from your rookie season to having such a big impact in the season opener, what's the contrast like in the sense of going into a game like this? You know, obviously you have a year under your belt now, coming off of preseason, training camp, and all that stuff. Like, what's been the few of the biggest differences you would say?
I think just getting more comfortable. I think especially after 1 year, and just knowing everybody, you get more comfortable, and then I think just going into the season, not easing in, being aggressive from the start, and then the trust that I have from my teammates and the coaches. I think just taking all that, and it's been like that since day one, my rookie season. So it's amazing to see it growing, and I'm really excited about this year.
Was it tough to kind of go from the ring ceremony to the actual game to kind of dial out of that and celebrating that? Was that tough?
I don't think so. I mean, obviously Houston's a great team, so we knew it was going to be a tough game. But I think we're a very serious team. Obviously, we enjoyed the moment, but once we were done with it, it was back to the game, focus on that, and I think we did a great job of that.
And when you got in, were you anything you wanted to do, or just kind of let the game come to you when you got out there?
Just letting the game come to me, just being aggressive and doing whatever I needed to do to help my team.
You mentioned the ring. You already know where you're going to place it at in your home?
Definitely in a nice safe, somewhere where I can just take it out when I have family, show them at dinner, but definitely somewhere safe.
AJ, they jumped into zone defense a number of times throughout the game, and that's something you guys have faced off and on for the last year or two. What's your process in terms of the way that you it seemed to be able to attract you to the ball, get off it, get it back, and rework the offense there?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of teams play zone, and I think you just got to adapt to everything. And I think as a team, we did a great job just moving the ball, and then finding gaps. That's really it.
AJ, coming into this year, you knew that Dub was going to be out for a little bit. Mark really handed you the reins and some of the second units with ball handling responsibilities. Is that sort of like riding a bike, getting into those spots, or is it sort of like an adjustment because you've been playing off more of Shai and Dub in some of those lineups?
No, I mean, I think it's kind of riding a bike. I think obviously going into every game you want to be aggressive when you get in. You obviously know your role, but just play basketball, have fun, and I think the trust that I have from my teammates and coaches really make it easy for me to just go out there and play.
AJ, just over the course of preseason, Mark has said that he's been pretty encouraged by your defense so far. Just how top of mind has that been for you as a player as you kind of grow your game?
I mean, very important for me. Obviously, I think as a first-year player, that's going to be the main thing is defense. And for me, that was a big emphasis this offseason, just getting stronger and being able to guard multiple guys. And I think that's something I'm still working on, but I think I definitely did a great job working on that throughout last year and this year. I just got to keep working, keep getting better at that.
AJ, there were several times where Shai was double teamed or was doing a little dribble drive and he kicked it out to you. What's it like having a guy like Shai have such confidence that you're going to hit a jumper?
Well, I mean, it means a lot, obviously. I think him trusting me, and I think trusting everybody on this team. I think we're a very close team, and we know each other very well. And I think I mean, just making the right play, and I think having that trust from him means a lot, obviously, and just gotta keep working and rewarding him for that.
Has there been any communication between the two of you, either before the game tonight or even after the game, after the buzzer sounded, about kind of your play, about continuing to trust each other?
I mean, not really. Obviously, we enjoyed that win. That's really what we talked about, is just winning this game. And then I mean, Shai's a great leader for us, and I mean, having feedback from him after practice, seeing him every day at work, I think, obviously, I know what he needs or what he wants from all of us, and I think it's great to have him as a leader and just being able to compete with him.
Thanks, AJ.
Thank you.
Mark, right off the bat, so many of your core principles, trying to be where your feet are and presence of mind, applied tonight. Just what'd you make of the tests that you all were put through on opening night?
Yeah, it's a great starting point for us because a lot of different things. I thought they dictated the tempo of the game early, and I thought we were able to get some of our pressure and some of our stuff in the game in the second half. We had to weather the storm of, the Şengün shots were really tough shots. Tip your hat to him. And we just kind of hung with the game and worked the game. And then a lot of situations down the stretch, situations that you got to be able to handle the right way, that I thought we did a pretty good job of for this early in the season. So there was a lot of, good learning in the game.
You guys aren't new to games like this, but with the distractions, the emotions of the game, how impressed were you with their poise in a game like this, especially the Rockets seemed like they had the momentum the majority of the night?
Yeah, it wasn't an easy night. I thought we got some great shots that didn't go down. And Houston played well, made plays. I'm glad the guys enjoyed the ceremony. It's a great life event for everybody, and I'm glad they enjoyed it. But they also compartmentalized pretty well. I didn't think we had quite the bite that we normally do early, but that might have been whatever. So I thought we got back on it, and second half we were way more in character.
And then late there in the fourth quarter, both overtimes, what did you think about the patience that you guys showed? I mean, Lou, Kaysen had open threes, Caruso had an open three, but found a way to get a much better look for you guys. Some didn't go, but some did.
Yeah, I thought we played pretty well. They zoned us late, which is hard. When a team goes to it that late, they hadn't done that in the game flow, and they settled into a zone when Thompson went out. And I thought our attacks, again, for the first game of the season, it was a good starting point for us. Not perfect, but a lot we can learn from, and that's what we have to do with the game. We have to learn from it.
I know as a coach you look at the collective, but I wanted to talk to you about Ajay Mitchell, just how he handled the offseason and even obviously coming into tonight.
Yeah, not surprised. I mean, he was kind of playing like this, before he got hurt last year. So we knew, what we had with him, and he's done a great job over the summer with his body, as you mentioned, and has come into training camp when he hasn't been hurt and done really well. And so this was his first game action since, a couple preseason games ago. So came in with confidence and aggression, and we're going to need that from him. But, no one was surprised by how he played tonight.
You mentioned the fourth quarter and those overtimes. Shai had 24 of his points during that stretch. Obviously, it's nothing new at this point, but just can you kind of speak to his continued ability to be able to rise to those moments?
Yeah, I think him and the rest of the team, he just stays in the game. It wasn't a perfect night for him, but he just stays in it. He understands the 48-minute nature. He understands the 82-game nature. It's not always going to be perfect. And tonight wasn't perfect, for us collectively. And the guys just kind of played the next play. Never lost our focus or resolve. He was certainly included in that, but I thought the whole group did a great job.
Yeah, Coach, I feel like Kaysen's energy was on fire the entire night, but especially in the second half. Can you just talk about how his intensity kind of fueled that second half comeback?
Yeah, I think, the stretch in the third that he played was, that stretch of the game was when I thought we changed the tone of how we were playing. Early in the game, we were playing kind of a size game. They were playing very slow, and we were just kind of on our heels with them, and we weren't able to get the tempo into the game that we need to against a team like that. And then in the third, we get that going. I thought Alex helped with that early, and I thought he really helped with that. So that changed how the terms that the game was being played on. And obviously it was still a slog, but I thought we did a good job of course correcting, and he was a big part of it.
Michael Martin, let's talk Thunder. Mark, what sort of happened? What was the exchange late sort of in that first overtime where it looked like KD called the timeout and you guys were talking to the officials?
Yeah. I saw what I saw. I said what I said. I said my piece on the court. I'm not going to do it here. Zach Zarba's a finals official that we have a lot of trust in. Jason Goldenberg I've known for a decade. He's been in the G League, and I trust those guys on the game. I said what I needed to say, and I'm over it now.
You mentioned, with Shai, tough early, tough for him even to get a shot up in the first half. Why was it so difficult to get him going early, and what freed him up fourth quarter and into the OTs?
I think early he was trying to establish a tone of moving it a little bit. I thought he was aggressive, but he was also aggressive to get off it and pass and activate his teammates. He accepted the double teams and got it out. He made some really nice plays. And then, obviously when it's down the stretch like that, we're trying to shake him free more intentionally. And, we were able to do that. He was able to do that. The guys did a good job. I thought Hartenstein late in the fourth did a great job of freeing him up on the break and giving him a lot of space and tempo. But I thought early he was trying to let the game come to him and activate his teammates. And Houston did a good job. They doubled him. They were sending guys to him, and he was just letting the game tell him what to do.
Yeah, Mark, this is one of the bigger teams in NBA history you played. It seemed like almost every matchup, significant size disadvantages. How'd you feel you held up against that? What were the pros and cons of that situation?
Yeah, I think it goes back to what I was saying about the first half, tempo. We played the first half on their terms. They play slower with that team, and they play right at your nose with their size. And so we kind of fought our size against their size in the first half and lost, and then I thought in the third we started to get our speed into the game on both ends of the floor, changed the terms of the game a little bit, got back into our identity a little bit more. And like I said, it was still difficult. They still played really well, but we did a good job of kind of, tapping back into our identity after we drifted a little bit.
Yeah, Mark, can you just talk about the job you guys, particularly Lou, did on KD, denying him the ball at the top of the key?
Yeah, I mean, Lou's amazing. That's a guy he's given up, however many inches, in size to. So, I mean, he's an unbelievable defender. He's proven that time and again. Everything is earned against him, and a guy like Durant's a great player, great scorer, and so he's still going to get some. But Lou's going to make you earn everything, and he made him earn everything tonight.
Coach, it seemed like the full court pressure kind of took them out of their sets early on. How would you assess how impactful that was overall?
Yeah, I thought we got to that more late, and early we were kind of conceding that. Some of that's like the way we picked up Thompson. You can pick him up lower, but it's also Case and Wallace. And that's probably on us. We're lowering the pickup points there. And in the second half, I was just like, forget that. Go do your thing. And it was a little better for us. It got us back into our stuff a little bit. But the guys did a great job.
Coach, we talk about Chet Holmgren in that first half. Offensively, he seemed to kind of carry you guys and just playing a little more physical this year. Did you notice that, especially against that big line?
He played great, but not surprised with the way that he attacks his summers and off seasons. He eats and sleeps hoops, so he gets better every season. This is how he started last season. And so, it's a good game for him to build on. But I thought he played with great flow, confidence. He played inside the team. He was very, very good on both ends.
It seemed like he was antsy in a good way to really get out there to kind of showcase what he's been working on.
Yeah, he's not hiding. Chet? Yeah, he's not hiding. He's not hiding.
Anyone else? We can go Barry for the last one.
Yeah, I didn't have Bernheiser or Youngblood playing in the first 12:01 of the season. What led to using those guys so early?
Barnheiser's preseason. He's a guy that, he's got some real stuff that we value, and he's made continuous improvement. He's not a polished player yet, but I thought he did a really good job in his minutes tonight. And then CY was a situational thing. We had the ball with, 5 seconds left, and, he's a great shooter, so it was a situational sub. But we want guys to always be ready, and we got to put our money where our mouth is.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep, thanks.